Big changes have come to Scotchgard since the last time we spoke. Back in 2019, some of you may remember that we did a whole series of stain test videos, and Scotchgard turned out to be the most popular one, and understandably so, because it's a DIY product that you can just do yourself at home. However, since 2019, they've completely changed the formula. So I promise you, we are going to get to the stain testing, but this is really important information that you need to know about. It's not clickbait, I promise you. Just listen. So I'd already started preparing the brand new 2022 Scotchgard stain test video, and I've got 4 different fabrics. I had 7 different stains, because a lot of you from the past video from 2019 had left comments. So I took a lot of those into consideration. I thought, all right, blood was one of them, dog urine was another, all really good suggestions. So I thought, all right, let's take all those into account. Let's do an updated brand new version for 2022. And then partway through, I had already been I had put cheesy dust, I had done Sharpie, I had done coffee, I had started staining all these products, and I went, hey, wait a minute, I got to reacquaint myself with the cleaning procedures. Because when I look at the can right here, there are no instructions, cleaning instructions on the back of this at all. They definitely give you all the application directions, but zero cleaning. So I was like, well, that's really weird. The other weird thing I noticed too, I was like, did I buy the wrong product? It's called Fabric Water Shield now. I was like, wait a minute, is this a different thing? I Googled around. I was like, what the hell is going on? So while trying to investigate and find the cleaning instructions, I found an article from May of 2020. So in this article, it turns out that back in May of 2020, 3M, the company that makes Scotchgard, announced that they were no longer making fabric stain protection products. All of their Scotchgard line that had stain protection, that's a key thing here, in the name, they were discontinuing. They had a third party do a green test on it and found that it had a lot of PFASs in them. Dude, I'm not even going to try to pronounce them. They're up on the screen for you. These are really bad chemicals for the environment. So I gotta say, for Scotchgard to openly and publicly announce, hey, we had somebody test our products, they're really shitty on the environment, in good conscience, we can no longer make these products. I think that's really commendable, especially in this day and age, especially in politics, where everybody's just for themselves, they're lying. Nobody will ever admit that they've done anything wrong and apologize for it. So I think that was really great of Scotchgard to do that. I was, okay, wow. But then I was like, well, wait a minute. I just bought this, like just before starting to film this video in 2022, just on Amazon. I was like, how come I was able to get a hold of this then if you discontinued it? I Googled and I Googled and I Googled. I couldn't find any more information after May 2020. Nobody was talking about what happened. Maybe they were like, you know what, it, we're gonna make it anyway, we don't care. So that's why I was still able to get it. But then I remembered, oh, it has a weird new name. So I called the company. So when I called, the first person I got a hold of would not give me any information unless I gave them my account number. And I'm like, I don't have an account number. What are you talking about? I just want to ask you a question. Like, are you still making this product? She's like, I need your account number. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So she wouldn't help me. So I was like, all right, try somebody else. Called back. This woman wouldn't help me unless I gave her my first and last name. And when I questioned that, she hung up on me. So the third guy I got a hold of was really helpful, thankfully. He's even emailed back to fill me in a little bit more. And this is what happened. So after that announcement back in May of 2020 that they were discontinuing Scotchgard fabric protection, stain protection, I can't remember what it was called. Doesn't matter because it's not called that anymore. They changed the formula. And now it's made with a silicone base, which I guess apparently is better for the environment. In the email, he said, the new formulation will repel water and water-based stains like juice, soda, coffee, and wine. However, the new formulation will no longer repel oil stains, oil-based stains. That's the key here. This is what's happened. Essentially, what they're doing now is they've changed it from a stain protection to a water repellent or a liquid repellent. So if anything this was the theory, anything you spill on there, as long as it's liquid based, should just bead right off and not leave a stain behind. That's the key here. So instead of removing stains, they're trying to avoid the stain altogether. And then, so that's why this brand new name, Fabric Water Shield. Can you see that? I'll put a proper picture up on the screen for you. They also, which I've purchased as well, have one called Heavy Duty Water Shield. So this one is just another version of it, but a stronger version. Then they also have another one called Water and Sun Shield, which I'm assuming is also for outdoor furniture. So that'll repel the rain and stop the fabric from fading, like the colors fading away from the sun. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to test also the heavy duty water shield and the water and sun shield. The water and sun shield will be harder to test because I'm gonna have to spray it, leave it outside, I guess, for a couple months and see what happens, but I'm willing to do that. This is what happened though. Sorry, still bear with me. I swear to you, we're getting to the testing. This is really important. So I sprayed a whole, I had a number of fabrics. I had like 30 pieces, little squares of fabric that I was gonna, half of them I was spraying with the Scotchgard, half of them I was not, so I could have a control during our testing and see, okay, what would happen if there was no Scotchgard? Now what happens when there is Scotchgard? So I had laid them all on the floor. I'm down in a basement. My whole office and studio, and YouTube studio and stuff is all downstairs here. And I put them on the floor and I was spraying them, following their instructions, spraying them on all these pieces of fabric, letting them dry. Then I would put a second coat and just left that to dry. I did that to, I don't know, whatever, 20 pieces, let's just say. Fine. Because I'm in the basement, my laundry room is right over there. So at the same time, I was doing laundry and I had the dryer going. My dryer is heated with gas. And there was just this really strong smell of like diesel fuel coming out of from my dryer. Like I could, if I walked over to the dryer, all I could smell was this really strong smell of diesel. And it was actually kind of giving me a headache. And I was like, oh man, fine. Let's move on. I left the squares on the floor to dry, turned off the dryer because it would give me a headache, the smell of gasoline or petroleum. And I went upstairs and started to cook dinner. Turned on my gas stove to heat up something. That same smell was coming out of my gas stove. And I was like, what the is going on? Where is that? Why is this smell like that? So when I started Googling, it took a while to find this, but I think this is what happened. And here's what I found. So somebody on Google said, again, I got to read this. Hang on, give me a sec. So, product of combustion is what this is called. So it's somewhere around in the house or near the house, someone used or opened some sort of stain, paint, varnish, or comparable compound, including cleaners. The molecules carry over and get mixed in the air and then burned off from open flame. So that's where that smell was coming from. And I was doing this in the basement. It even made its way all the way upstairs, and was igniting, I guess, and when I would turn on the gas stove and creating this horrible smell like gasoline. Then another thing happened. I usually wear like socks and slippers when I'm walking around the house. And all of a sudden my shoes were like walking through my kitchen. Okay, I guess I got something on my shoes because I was out mowing the lawn or something. So, okay, fine. Then when I would take my shoes off and walk through the kitchen without the shoes and only my socks, I almost broke my freaking neck. My floors were so slippery that my feet were like, holy, what is going on? I almost wiped out. I almost broke my neck. It is insane. It's like a skating rink or something. Even at this point, I still hadn't connected that it was probably the fucking Scotchgard doing this to making the smell and causing my floors to be super slippery. It hadn't snapped in yet until I was explaining to somebody, Steven, who works here at TEB. He came into the office and his shoes were going on the floor. And I was like, okay, wait. So it isn't my shoes. I don't know what's going on. And then it hit me. I was like, holy crap, is it the Scotchgard? So it eventually stopped happening. The floors were still, I cleaned the floors, so they stopped making that noise. It was better. They weren't as slippery anymore. And the smell when I would turn on the stove stopped. It went away. Cool. Then I wanted to test it again. So I actually needed to spray a few more pieces of fabric, squares for this video. I only did 4 squares, did them in the basement again. I have a door at the top of the stairs from the basement. I closed that. I did it all on purpose because I'm assuming that it's a Scotchgard at this point that's making all this happen and making my floor slippery and making that smell. Dude, same thing. Right away, as soon as I turned on my oven upstairs, that smell started happening. There was that awful diesel smell and my floors were super slippery again. Another note that they had put in the email was, When applying the product, we advise protecting surrounding non-fabric surfaces and materials from overspray. Really? That is an understatement. I am here to tell you, I have full experience that this stuff, I don't know what it is, maybe it's a silicone, it's something, but it travels through your entire home and leaves its mark. You will be sliding all over your floors, and if you have a gas stove or a gas heated dryer, it's gonna reek like burning diesel fuel. It's really bad. Dude. And the thing is, the Scotchgard, like, it does smell when you're spraying it. It smells chemically, it's got a smell to it, and the fabric initially smells like that, but when it dries, the smell is completely gone. Like, the fabric is completely odorless. There's no change to the texture of the fabric. It still feels the same, everything's fine. It's just all over your fucking house. It's a liquid repellent now, is really what it is. It's waterproofing your furniture or your clothing or whatever your fabric you're spraying it on. And I guess the goal to that is, if you spill liquid on something, this product should just sort of slip right off, or it'll bead like on the water on a duck's back. Jinx monsoon. In that sense, that's their new sort of loophole, I guess, around, well, now it's not going to stain your fabric anymore because this will repel the liquid in the first place. So here's what I've come up with. Instead of all those other stains, I've got 4 fabrics here. I've got a velvet, I've got a canvas upholstery type of fabric, I've got linen with a little bit of poly in it, and then I've got 100% cotton. And I'm going to use grape tang that I made from the powdered crystals, because if anything's going to stain, grape tang is going to stain. Okay, the first one we are going to do is the linen fabric, and I'm going to start with the untreated, and I've done it in 2 different tests. We're going to do it where it's like if you had drapes or maybe pillows sitting vertically on your couch and the liquid spilled onto a vertically sitting fabric. It doesn't make any sense. You'll see it when I show it to you. And we're also going to do a flat surface, because if you have an upholstered sofa, like with a tight seat, you can't just pick that up and throw it in the wash. So I wanted to make sure we also tested on a flat surface, left it for a little bit of time, pretending we were running to the kitchen to get the paper towel, hurry, 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 and see what happens. Here you go. My very scientific and high-end equipment holding the fabric in place. Wow. So, this is untreated, remember? It did not fare very well. There was not even any need to, like, hey, go get some paper towel and try to clean it. Like, look, like, it did not work. Like, it was just, there was nothing. I could not even save this ever, ever, ever. Untreated, so it's fine. So as you can see here in this photo, like, the liquid just went right through the fabric, landed on the table, and this is what it looked like after it was done. It's pretty bad. So the next, here we go, treated with Scotchgard. It's supposed to repel liquids. Let's see what happens. Whoa. Whoa. Dude, look how cool that is. So Scotchgard worked really well with the linen. See what? Now here's a tip: when you are cleaning it, just pat it very lightly with a piece of clean white paper towel. What you want to do, and I'm going to show you a video after of a close-up of cleaning it. You just want to sort of lightly touch it and let the paper towel suck the beads up into the paper towel. Just let it absorb it right off the fabric. I didn't even bother with this test on the untreated, because obviously if it didn't work in the vertical position, water didn't bead off of it. It's not going to bead off in this flat position. So it's treated with Scotchgard, but it's linen. So we have to remember that this really, you would not upholster with this fabric because it's so lightweight. It is not an upholstery fabric. So, you know, the little small beads are being absorbed by the paper towel. A lot of them were working. They were coming right up and they weren't leaving anything behind. But right in the center, you can see, yeah, it was too late. What I did is I do leave these, you know, I'll pour it on and then I'll walk away for a few minutes pretending that I'm running to the kitchen to get some paper towel. I spilled my grape tang. Leave it for a bit and come back and then, see how it fared. And this one obviously did not fare very well. It beaded a lot of it. I was able to get most of it off, but not all of it was salvageable. It stained right through in the center there. there's no way this is going to come out. I kept going. I kept trying and trying. I've got wet paper towel. I kept trying to get it out. But as you can see, this is a picture of it after. That's didn't make it through. So that will definitely leave that stain on the linen fabric. But if you look, you know, there it is. If it was drapes or if it was a pillow sitting vertical and you just sort of spilled something on it that way and all the liquid beat it off, great. That completely all came out. I was able to not have any staining on the linen that way. Untreated though, look at, so even the treated version in the vertical test is way, way better than that. So I'm going to give it, that's a relatively, let's say that's like out of 10, Scotchgard, the treated piece, let's give that a 6. The first piece here is the untreated cotton piece of fabric. And we're going to pour the grape tang on top and see what happens. Better than the linen, I guess. But you can see, like, it's already staining. Like, it's not, no matter what, your 100% cotton upholstered something or other, or pillow or curtains are ruined because you didn't Scotchgard them first. But will Scotchgard help with the 100% cotton? Well, let's see. Okay, here we go, treated. Woo! Again, wow, really good, right? Just like the linen. Yeah, it looks like it's beading right off.
That's what she said.
God, I hate saying that. That sounds so dirty. Sorry. Beading right off. The liquid is being repelled, like water off a duck's back. Jinx monsoon again. Doing really well. Just get a nice, clean, white piece of paper towel. Dabba, dabba, dabba. Yeah, this one, see, if this was your drapes or a pillow sitting on your couch, we probably would be okay. But only because we treated it with the Scotchgard. So far, with the linen and with the cotton, Scotchgard is doing a very good job helping us. Remember, not 100% protection. They're just giving us a little extra help, a little extra time to run to the kitchen and grab some paper towel to wipe up the spill. So here we go, the flat test. I treated with Scotchgard. Again, I just felt, well, there's no need to bother testing a flat version of the cotton or the untreated cotton, because it just doesn't work. So, it looks pretty good so far. A lot of the grape tang is beading. Dabba, dabba, dabba. Remember to keep, make sure the paper towel is always clean and white. No, you don't want to keep putting the stain back in. Looks like we're going to have the same problem though with the linen. It's not going to get all of it, you know, but I kept going. I gave it a valiant effort. I even kept trying with the new paper towel and making it wet, using water, trying to absorb it, which actually helped. The water would get a little bit more of the grape tang out, but not 100%, unfortunately. Okay, so here's some pictures. There's the untreated cotton, obviously. Whoa. You know what's funny? What I noticed, you can see the blue dye number 9 or whatever number it is, the blue dye from the grape tang coming out into the fabric. Isn't that like super toxic, the blue dye? Wasn't there an issue with that? Okay, that's not what we're here to talk about. Sorry. Here's a treated. Now there was a couple of little spots that I couldn't fully get out, but what a difference. Like, Scotchgard really, really helped, and we were able to get a lot of that out. This is the vertical test though, remember? And then in the flat test, I think this did worse than the linen. So I guess on a 10, I'm going to give this like, I don't know, a 4, 3, maybe a 3. Yeah, even Scotchgarded. It didn't really work very well against the grape tang. Here we are with fabric number 3. This is like a canvas. I don't really know what to call this. I can tell you it's 100% polyester this time, and it's a much more heavy duty. This is an actual upholstery fabric. This is definitely something that you could give yourself a nice cream couch in. By the way, all of these fabrics, thank you very much, by the way, to ALENDEL Fabrics. They gave us these fabrics to use in our testing videos. I just want to give a shout out to ALENDEL. Hey girl! First, we're going to do the untreated version of this heavy duty upholstery fabric. Let's just call it canvas. So this is the vertical test, untreated. What's going to happen? So what I think is going on, this fabric, because it is a lot heavier, it's a lot thicker, it also has, there's more, because it's a little bit fuzzy, it's got little fibers sticking up on top of the surface of the fabric, which I bet are helping and assisting with liquids beading on top. It's not as good as spraying it with Scotchgard, I'm sure, but it helps. So as you can see, even the untreated fabric did really well. I'm impressed. Here's a flat test of that untreated canvas fabric. Huh. Right? It's all beading on top again. Looks pretty good. God, now I want some grape tang. Damn it. Okay, I'm very lightly trying to get the beads to absorb into the paper towel. It's working really well, actually. Look. Most of it's already gone. Those spots there in the middle, though, those are going to be, yeah, they pushed into the fabric now. And then I got wet paper towel and started doing that even more, and it worked even better. Like, it started to come out. So this is actually a pretty good fabric that already naturally will repel a little bit of water and help you against all this staining. Look at that. Wow. It's like pretty much disappearing. Well, 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 what do you know? Now we move on to treated and the vertical test. Treated canvas, treated with Scotchgard. Wow, slides right off like a water slide. A little beads left behind. I bet you it's no problem. Clean white paper towel. Let's go. Dab, dab, dab. Whoa, yep, just as I suspected. Perfectly ungrape tanged fabric. Applause, applause. Okay, here goes the vertical test, or the flat test. I always tried to make sure that I was also giving each 3 spoonfuls. I was trying to make sure everybody got the exact same amount, even when I was pouring on the vertical test as well. Okay, so far so good. You can see that all the liquid is just sort of beading on top of the fabric. Oh, one just absorbed right in. See that? That was weird how it happened just while we were looking at it. Okay, lightly just touch it. Let's see what we can get out of here. Wow, look at all a lot of it's absorbing into the paper towel. Look at how purple the paper towel is turning. Purple paper towel, purple paper towel. Again, all the little beads all around the perimeter. They're coming out no problem. Ooh, that's actually a bigger, what do you want to call it? A bigger blob of grape tang in the center. Oop. Oh, but look at that. So I started pressing it again with a paper towel, giving it a good, okay, little bit of elbow grease. Really try to dig in there and see if I can get the stain to come out. And that really helped. Okay, let's have a few looks at the photos from after. So the untreated, obviously, still left behind a stain, but we were able to get most of it out. That did quite well, even on its own without Scotchgard. But you know what I noticed? The back of the fabric. Look at that. That's the back of the fabric. Even though the front, most of it is gone, it absorbed into the back. So this fabric has a backing on it that's really fuzzy. It's almost like fleece, actually. I'm not really sure what it's made of. As I was pushing it in, I guess, it was all absorbing into the back of the fabric, but not showing on the front. So that's not bad, right? Here is the treated. So it's better than the untreated, but it still did leave a bit of a stain behind. And then there you go. There's the back of the treated piece of fabric. It all went absorbed right into the backing of the fabric. I don't know if that's good. I don't know what would happen over time. Actually, yes, I do. Look at this picture right here. So here is that same fabric. A couple days later, it all started to absorb right back to the front. Crap. I mean, again, Scotchgard is just saying, we're going to try and help you protect the fabric from as much liquid as we can. We're going to give you this protective coating. We're going to make sure the liquid will bead on top of the fabric as much as we can, but we can't promise you 100% protection. You got to be quick. You still got to get to your stain. And what's kind of funny is it only happened on the one that was treated with Scotchgard. It came right back through the other side. The unprotected one did not absorb back to the front as much. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I'm not sure why it did that. Why did the Scotchgard one absorb right back? I don't know what to tell you, except that, yikes, maybe this is a big fail, unfortunately. It started off really good, that it looked like it was going to be a really cool win. Next couple of days later, so I'm sorry, but on that one, on the canvas fabric, the Scotchgard, I guess, is getting a, oh, I feel bad, but 0. Here's the last one. We got a velvet here. Again, it's 100% polyester, but it's a really nice, soft, really, really soft upholstery grade velvet. So you 100% can upholster your sofa or anything you want with this fabric. It's a really nice, soft feeling fabric. I really like this one a lot. So here is our first test with the vertical test with the unprotected velvet. Goes our grape tang. Let's see what happens. Again, you know, this fabric also has all these extra little fibers that might help bead the fabric, or the liquid a bit. Maybe not as much as I had hoped, but it looks like, see, I'm leaving it to pretend I ran to the kitchen, but you can see it's already starting to absorb into the velvet. And this is white velvet, baby. Grape tang is not going to come out of this. Problem with velvet too as well, when you're cleaning, you can't like scrub, because all those fibers, all that create all the softness and the beautiful lux of velvet will get damaged and will all start sticking in different directions. And you'll see this little spot where you cleaned it and all the fibers are sticking in all different directions. Damn. Okay, here we go. I don't know, it seems to be beading on top of the velvet. Remember, untreated. We're still on untreated. I don't know, man. This looks like it's probably already absorbing into the velvet. Yikes. Lightly dab. Yo, this is not, no. Nope. This is not happening. This white velvet sofa is ruined. Forget it. If you're a teenager at home and you just spilled this on your mom's white sofa, it's time to pack your bags and move the F out, because this is not not cool, man. Alrighty. Vertical test, treated velvet. Scotchgard treated velvet. The goal is bead right off. Oh, not bad, right? Whoa. Holy crap. See, I gave it a little extra because I was getting excited. I thought, holy Scotchgard has my white velvet protected. Wow. Dude, that's probably the best one so far, right? Especially because it's velvet. I thought for sure it was going to be the hardest one to save and protect, but I don't know. Pretty good, right? Okay, here we go. The flat test. Woo! Wow, look how it splashed all around. All the beads just went flying. Huh. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Before we, I'm not going to pause or anything, but before we get to start soaking up all that grape tang, what do you think? What do you think? I already know, so I can't tell. I'm not going to play. Go, dab it really lightly. Just dab. Let the paper towel absorb the liquid. Pretty good so far. Almost all of it's gone. We're getting there. Looks like there's a couple of spots that might have already absorbed into the velvet, though. We weren't able. Either we were too late, or maybe we kind of pushed it in a little bit too hard with the paper towel. That's why I'm telling you, you've got to be super careful. So make sure, even after this, at the end of this, I'm going to show you a quick little video of how to close up of the paper towel cleaning this up. All right, so here's the untreated velvet from the first test, the vertical test. Not, didn't work. Some of it absorbed in, but that's fine. It's untreated. Whoa. Yeah. Oh my God. Could you imagine if you had spent, I don't know, thousands of dollars on this beautiful white velvet sofa, and your bratty little kid spilled his grape tang on there? My God. Yikes. All right, here's the treated velvet from the vertical test. Like, it's flawless. Nothing left behind whatsoever. Completely came out. Scotchgard saved the day. And look. There's, even from the flat test, there's a couple of tiny fragrant left over of a little bit of grape tang that I bet you, if I wasn't filming and wasn't trying to under the pressure to try to hurry the up, I bet you I could have got that out. So I'm gonna give, out of 10, definitely the velvet part, Scotchgard gets a 10 and a half, an 11. One last thing, I want to show you a close-up of what I'm talking about when you're trying to clean up your spill on your Scotchgard protected fabric. I'm gonna bring in the paper towel. You just want to lightly touch the top of it. Up goes the droplet of grape tang. Here's a better one. Whoop. Gone. Okay, watch this big droplet. Whoop. Almost all of it. Keep going. Whoop. So that's the trick, okay? Just make sure that when you're cleaning it, let the paper towel just absorb those little droplets, and that's a huge help. Barely try to not touch the fabric. So does the new formula hold up? I think so, a little bit. It did mostly. It did a pretty good job. We got to remember, it's not what it used to be. It's just a little bit of help, extra help for you, extra time to run to the kitchen to catch this stain. I think if any of these stains, even though the Velvet did amazing and Scotchgard did a really good job at allowing the water to beat, or the liquids to beat off of the fabrics, if you didn't notice that happened and it sat there for a couple of days, you wouldn't be able to get that stain out. But Scotchgard did a really good job, I think, in protecting against it. Like when you look at the unprotected version of, say, the linen especially, even the cotton as well, when you compare the unprotected version against the Scotchgard protected version, Scotchgard did a great job. But don't forget about what I said in the very beginning about spraying it and the combustion from using your gas stove, or the slippery floors. Like if your couch is in the middle of your living room and you want to Scotchgard it with this, you can't just take your couch outside and spray it with this. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Please remember to bear that in mind, because I'm telling you, that smell was just horrible. Like it smelled like you were driving behind a big diesel truck, and all that, the older ones where all the black smoke would come out and it was blowing right into your car. Like, it's really strong. Just keep that in mind. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know how to tell you to avoid that, but it's something you got to think about. But I got to say, I fully stand behind 3M's choice to make their products much more environmentally friendly. And I think we all should. It's a very, very important thing. It just means that if you're going to buy yourself a white sofa or a white upholstered chair, you just got to be extra careful. And it's a small little sacrifice. Don't eat oily foods on your white sofa. Don't let your kids do it either. Just take extra caution. Sure, these guys can help you with a little bit of extra help, but they're not going to be 100%. As the world heads towards using less and less oils in their products that they're making, we've removed oil from paint, we've removed oil from household cleaners, and toxic chemicals have all been removed from stuff. And it's a really, really good thing for the environment, and it's very important. And I really think that 3M doing this openly and honestly and in a public statement doing this is very commendable. And I think that's awesome, and we can all learn from that.